Hi everyone, this is my next video. I promised that I would have another video about depression. I'm actually going to have a series. I have a lot of topics that I want to cover. I'm kind of moving this topic forward because I realize it's important, and it's probably best to get this section of information started at the beginning of your process. It's going to make your process easier. Let me kind of give you a little history. When I was first diagnosed with depression, I was put on medication. And I was on medication, I want to say anywhere from 1.5 years to 2 years. And with that medication, I was invincible. Nothing really affected me. Nothing agitated me. I was just like always kind of in a good mood. I felt like I can do anything. And it's something because in that midst of being able to do everything and feeling excited, there were so many things that happened during that process that I never processed. Anything bad or negative, I really never processed. As a matter of fact, even during that time, there was someone who had been doing me dirty for years that I actually apologized to and kind of took the ownership of what they did. And I had a friend tell me at the time that, you know, the medication might be actually altering your personality a little bit. And I didn't think about it until at one point I had really come to the conclusion after actually my job did a bunch of, I want to even say illegal things. And I finally said, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to deal with them. It was unhealthy for me. And I left my job. And so leaving my job, I no longer had my health insurance or, of course, my medication and all that information. So at one point, I had actually started my own business, and I was in the middle of sales. And I can tell you where I was. I don't remember the date as much today, but I remember exactly where I was when all of that medication had left my system. And when it left my system, I mean, this rush of tears just began to flow out of nowhere. And it's like everything that I hadn't processed for that prior 1.5 years to 2 years hit me all at once. And it's like all the memories of just everything that happened, whether it be little or big, had just smashed me all at the same time. And the result of that is really, I kind of went into a mental coma for, I'd say, anywhere from 6 to 8 months. And where I don't remember a whole lot of things, I just remember being in intense pain, intense emotional pain. And so a few years later, I'd actually found out that Maryland had a program where you can get free therapy. And so I had gone to the therapist. They had wanted to send me to another doctor to see what medication they could put me on. And mind you, from my previous experience of the medication, and I remember how bad that hurt. I still remember how bad that hurt. I wasn't really interested in trying anything else. And it's something because on the day that I was supposed to see this other doctor about my medication, there was a lady who was in the office who was frantic. She couldn't sit still. She just kept getting up and going to the front and, you know, seeing if she can get in to see the doctor. And what was interesting is that she had explained that, actually the lady behind the counter explained, you know, you have an appointment tomorrow. You have medication up until tomorrow. You know, we're busy today. We don't know when we're going to be able to fit you in. But she just she didn't want to have any breaks for that medication. And it's something because not only did it kind of set in stone for me that, no, I'm not going to be doing medication again, but it also made me kind of wonder, was I anything like that? And so when I finally got to talk to the doctor about putting me on medication, and I explained to her my experience, she kind of said, oh, well, what may have happened is that medication may have made you manic. And we have other medications that we can put you on. But yeah, it sounds like, you know, that type just made you manic. And I was like, yeah, still not going to do it. And it's something because she asked to see me in 2 weeks. She checked in with me in 2 weeks. And when I came back in 2 weeks, by that time, I discovered 2 new things. One was hula hooping. And I went to a location, I think it was like downtown Baltimore, where I could buy this super big hoop because I couldn't hoop with the small one. And I would get outside just about every day with my music, my earphones on, and I would hoop. Even if there was snow on the ground, I would still go out and I would hoop. And it's funny because I actually at one point had started trying to make hoops and had given one to my neighbor behind because she was so shocked. Her and her husband would always talk about how I was always out back hooping. Well, hula hooping, and what it had done was just increase my energy, probably in combination with the sun, the vitamin D, everything, but it had made my energy more balanced. Well, in the midst of that, I had kind of gone through and talked a little prior to that, talked to a friend and told her all that she'd known me since high school, told her all these things that I was going through. And she had suggested to me that one of her parents was going through something very similar and that I might want to try Omega 369. And let me stop and just say, I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what worked well for me. The first thing I'm going to suggest that you do is research Omega 369 for the simple fact that when I started to feel better, and it took me about 2 weeks when I started to feel better, I started doing research and found out that one of the omegas is often low in people who either attempt to or actually commit suicide. And so, again, just to give you the information, it's 4 Omega 369. Try it for at least 30 days. Luckily, when she'd first told me I had gone to Costco. Costco had like this huge bottle. I want to say it's like 360 pills for over $20, under $20. And so, like I said, I tried that within 2 weeks. I felt different. I went back to the doctor and, 2 weeks later, the doctor's like, okay, well, did you want to, go ahead and get on medication? I'm like, nope, I feel great. And she's like, wow, you sound different. So this kind of leads me to tell you, and I say this a lot, and I'm sure I may offend some people. I don't think this country deals with mental illness, much less depression, very well. I think the problem that we have is that we think medication will cure so many things. And the thing that gets me is when you look at medication, even when you watch the television and you have the commercials and you have the option of the issue that you have, but you can always have the side effects of other issues. Like, for example, you want to cure your runny nose. Yeah, you can cure your runny nose, but this medication might give you a runny tail. So I think we need to learn that the reality is everything to big companies, everything is about money. And I truly believe that there's so many things that are done to keep us sick. And I don't think people realize that there's no profit in a cure. There's profit in treatment. If I can keep you coming back, I'm going to get more money. So the next thing I'm going to suggest to you is something, it sounds so minimal, but if you look at the foods, or what I say, the non-food substances, or something like food that we eat, most of the processed stuff you look at, if you look down the side of a box and all these 15-letter words of things that you've never heard about, are all these different chemicals are in your food that we ingest, and we don't think about how it affects our body, how it affects our emotions, our health, and everything. My suggestion is I'm not going to tell you to stop eating certain things. Like, I'm not going to say, oh, stop eating chocolate. You can never eat sweets again. You can't eat any salt. You shouldn't eat meat. What I'm going to tell you is start making as much as you can. Now, expect you to be able to make flour. But if you want some pancakes, just get some flour, a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar, some buttermilk, and whatever else you need. Learn to make things yourself, because it's so funny when you look down the side of things and you're like, why is this necessary? Like, random thought for bread. Bread is so easy to make. What do you need high fructose corn syrup for? But anyway, so my suggestion is, like I said, to start looking at the more natural things to put inside your body. The other thing I would suggest is, I've heard people say that your skin is your largest organ. I'm very careful on how I moisturize and cleanse my skin. So my suggestion is, like I said, even those kind of things, your skin, your hair, I have conditioners that I've come up with naturally that really pretty much include buttermilk, a fresh avocado, and some type of oil, like either an avocado oil or coconut oil. Great conditioner. My hair loves it. I've even come up with what I'll say is a lip conditioner that I might actually add to my Etsy store because it works so well. So what I'm going to say again is just be careful of what you intake. There's a lot of food-like substances that we've been eating that I really think have a lot of effect on our well-being and our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. The other thing that I would suggest, once again, is Omega 369. 4 pills, 30 days. Whatever you do, if you ever want to try something and see if it works, I always give it 30 days because that way you know how your body is actually taking it in and how it adjusts. So, cook more with real food and Omega 369. 4 pills, 30 days. I'm hoping that this information works for you. I will have several other videos because this has been a very long journey. I'm going to try to link some information that I found in videos, books, other people's YouTubes, whatever I can to kind of help whoever needs the help in this process. Thank you for watching, and find 1,000 reasons to smile. Have a good one.